Hello, welcome back to the FPL show. James, what's the answer to our little teaser today?
Oh yeah, our fancy question. We asked which goalkeeper in the Premier League has saved the most shots so far this season. The answer is...
I don't know, tell me.
The answer is Fulham's Fabry.
Ooh.
He's stopped 15 shots so far, which has earned him a whopping 4 extra fancy points.
Very nice. All right, it's time to check in on some of the players who have caught our eye in the last couple of game weeks. And let's start off with Danny Ings, Holly, because we've been wondering where Southampton are going to get their goals from. New signing Danny Ings gets his first start against Everton and gets a goal.
He's definitely a good option if you're looking for a budget forward under 6 million. He had plenty of shots last weekend, which is encouraging. And particularly if you're looking at freeing up some funds in the front line so that you can upgrade in midfield or defence using 2 transfers. He's definitely one to get in.
Ings averages a shot every 13.8 minutes.
Wow.
It's remarkable, isn't it? Would you get him in, David?
He's on my radar. I haven't made my transfers yet this week, but when I do make them, he's definitely going to be in the frame.
He can only get better as well.
Absolutely.
Ings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, let's have another question. Pedro.
Pedro.
2 goals in 2 so far.
I know.
Were you expecting that?
Yeah, it's strange because the Community Shield game, we all kind of looked at that game and Chelsea just didn't look very good. I think one thing we should learn from that, everybody looks poor against Man City, so don't read into it. But the thing that also worried us was we knew that Eden Hazard was waiting in the wings to come into the team on one of those flanks. We weren't perhaps sure whether it was going to be Pedro or Willian to make way. 2 goals in 2 would tell me that he's got to keep his place. So I think now I'm looking at Pedro at 6.6 and thinking, yeah, maybe he's worth keeping because I think that Willian's probably more likely to make way for Hazard when he does come back.
A lot of people obviously getting Alonso into their team. Would you double up and have 2 Chelsea players?
They've got some good fixtures, so I mean they've got the fixtures that would justify it. The only thing is that lots of teams have lots of good fixtures. So a lot of people have started the season with the triple up on Liverpool and Man City, which then makes it harder to have double ups and triple ups for some of the bigger teams. I'm going to stick with Liverpool and City for now, personally, I think.
Holly, have you got Callum Wilson in your team?
No, I started the season with Josh King, as many managers did.
It was a straight choice, I think, for a lot of managers. A lot of people now are swapping over to Callum Wilson because he's been looking excellent.
We've both got him, haven't we, James?
Yeah, Callum Wilson is slightly cheaper. He's playing further forward and he's getting the goals and the assists, whereas Josh King has done nothing so far.
Right.
We don't know whether he's on penalties or not because he did miss a penalty in game week 1, but he could be on penalties too.
Right. So as long as he stays injury-free, he looks an absolute cert.
Definitely.
Another budget forward that's caught our eye is Mitrovic, and because of this stat, that he matches up with Aguero.
Yeah, it's crazy. He's actually had more shots than Salah this season, and yeah, the only one who's had more shots than him so far is Aguero. So great company to be in for someone who's 6.5. The fixtures he's done that in as well, it is impressive because Palace have got a really good defence. He had lots of shots against them. Spurs, as we know, one of the big 6 sides, lots of shots against them as well. So that tells you that when those fixtures start to ease up, he's going to be someone to look at in that value part of forwards.
If you had to pick a budget forward right now, David, who would you go for?
I think I'd go for Danny Ings because he's in a similar sort of bracket in terms of shots on goal to Mitrovic, but he's that million cheaper.
But he plays for Southampton. Holly, what do you think?
I'm not as keen.
No.
No,
So who would you
not.
pick out of that budget kind of bucket?
Wilson's probably the one for me at the moment.
Okay.
Top thoughts.
Well, let's go back to Fulham now, and time to hear from the Cottagers captain, Tom Kearney.
Indeed, he's only £5 million, but he's still feeling the pressure of his fancy Premier League price tag.
Yeah, a lot of tweets. I get a lot of tweets about fantasy football and whether they put me in my team. I don't know, I feel like a bit of extra pressure, to be fair, that people have put me in the fantasy team. I get tweets saying, I've got you in my team, don't let me down. I'm like, all right. I feel like, yeah, a bit of extra pressure, yeah. Depends how much I am. I think I'm 5 mil. So I don't think that's expensive, is it? In fantasy. It's cheap, innit? I think it's cheap. So yeah, if you want to put me on the bench, no problem. Probably Mitchell. I feel like he'd probably be a top scorer this season.
We welcome your questions via Twitter @officialFPL. Many thanks to everyone who sent something in this week. We're going to go through 1 or 2 of them now. Rahul asks, I've just used my wild card. Who are the must-have players? Holly?
Well, if we look across the pitch, I'd say up front you definitely need Aguero. Salah's the go-to option in midfield and prime captain candidate every week. And then in defence, Mendy looks the best choice from all of the premium fullbacks.
Is there a must-have goalkeeper?
I'm not sure at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Can't decide, David. Any for you?
I'd echo what Holly said there, yeah, and it's tricky in goal because David De Gea has been so reliable in years gone by, but as you've mentioned, it's not really in the best form. So, yeah, it's tricky in goal, but the other positions are the ones to go for me.
Early wildcard, you say? Are you tempted, James?
I'm really tempted. I know, because we sit here, we hear all these great players.
Yeah, I know.
And you think, well, how am I going to get all them in?
Wildcard.
Yeah, well, some people have already played them.
Some people
Anyway,
have.
yeah.
Anyway, Senor Giroud is asking, which 7 million striker is the best at the moment and why, David?
So I quite like the look of Marko Arnautovic at West Ham. While they're having a bit of a transition phase and they haven't had particularly good results so far, he still looked fairly good in both of those games. He's in great form from pre-season. And as we've said before on the show, like he's just the kind of guy who rises to the occasion and score against anybody. So I'd back him at 7 million.
And of course, he's on pens.
And he's on penalties too, which is interesting because obviously Mark Noble's been on them for a long time. So his value has actually almost increased in the last week because now that we know that he can do that. So, yeah.
Okay. Question here from Shrey, who asks Sterling or Hazard? Holly.
Personally, it's a wait and see for me with both of these. With Mane, the way he's performing at the moment, he seems like the go-to premium option alongside Salah. Hazard will get more game time going forward, so he might become an option.
Right.
Sterling, he has seen a bit of rotation already, so I'd maybe give it another couple of weeks on those two.
Hazard is $500,000 cheaper than Sterling. Sterling was the second highest point scorer behind Salah last season, though, so we can't ignore him for too long.
No, definitely one for the watch list there.
Okay. Next question comes all the way from Zambia. J-Lock is asking, should we still keep the faith with lovely Christian Eriksen?
The problem with Eriksen, he's the kind of player, his meat and drink is set pieces. That's kind of where his value is completely based on. So when he starts to lose that, obviously we saw the free kick that Trippier scored and Trippier started taking corners now as well. That really does just suck away a lot of his value. Bearing in mind he's more expensive than Ali. If you're looking for a midfielder at Spurs, Ali's the one to go for now, I think.
All right, well, if you're looking for a midfielder at Spurs, should you be factoring Lucas Moura into your plans? Because he's a little bit cheaper, I think 7 million. And he's had a great track record in games which he's featured in. He keeps scoring.
I mean, if you currently own Lucas Moura, I'd definitely stick by him for the next few weeks. I probably wouldn't transfer in for now, especially with Son and Lamella likely to come back and get those places from him. But definitely hold if you currently own.
Okay, Jeffrey in India asks our final question from Twitter this week. David, he's asking, are 4 premium fullbacks the way to go? 4?
Yeah, I think 4 is probably a little bit of overkill, but I think 3 is the way to go. Mendy, Robertson and Alonso would be the 3 I'd pick if you were going to have 3 premium fullbacks.
A lot of money to spend on defenders, though, isn't it?
That's the thing, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's strange because, you know, it's more than we're used to. We normally say that's where you spend light. But the thing is, if all of those players were midfielders at that price, you'd go for them in a heartbeat. But they get clean sheets, so they actually offer better value.
Holly, would you go along with that?
Yeah, I'd say probably 3 at the moment, with Mendy, Robertson and Alonso being the key ones to bring in.
Okay, have you got them, Jules?
No.
Play that wild card. All right, last big question to ask then before the game week gets underway, and that is who gets the armband?
So time for captain picks. The question is it Salah or Mane against Brighton?
Yeah, Salah is going to be who I'm going to go for, but there's a great case for Mane. I don't really think we have to dwell too much on why Salah's worth talking about. I think that we're at that stage now where I don't have to defend that. But with Mane, there's a potential case because a lot of people don't have Salah. Mane's matching Salah for shots in the box and shots on target.
Yeah.
So bearing in mind that he's a lot cheaper, if you don't have Salah, get Mane and captain him against Brighton.
All right, but the guy who got us 40 points for captaining him last weekend, Sergio Aguero, surely he has to be in consideration.
We've definitely got to consider Aguero. I think the home game just swings it the way of the Liverpool men.
Okay.
I don't really know what to expect from the Wolves game and how they'll set up.
Well, plus Jules had that dream in which
I did have that dream,
so.
and I assume Aubameyang would therefore then be the kind of differential captain pick for this week in terms of those. But that's all we've got time for, guys. Thank you so much for your company. Deadline, James, 11:30
on Saturday morning, and then we'll be back next Thursday evening. So best of luck with your game week. We'll catch you next time. Cheerio.
Bye.